There is a huge glaring problem that none of you are thinking about with these cars and every single vehicle like it. And if you can't figure out what that problem is before the intro of the video plays, I'm literally going to kill myself. Electric has a huge problem. And we're not talking about design, which most other than Tesla or maybe Porsche, the designs are crap. Also not referring to just this blood feud between startup electric companies and tried and true car manufacturers that are just fighting to stay in this whole business. There is a consistent, more glaring concern that I believe is just the center point, or this.
Then you'll say, we're not talking about this, or this, we're talking about this!
Of what's really wrong with electric cars. Tesla, along with many other startups, have sold this idea of sustainability, of alternative methods, alternative fueling, changing the status quo from this limited resource of fossil fuels that there's no guarantee when we're gonna just sip them all right out of the earth, or that, you know, our other suppliers of oil or different areas that we cannot go and pillage all the earth's tender gold from. So there's a lot of restrictions that just come with wanting to continue gasoline and wanting to continue to have just gasoline powered vehicles for the long run. I'm there with you. I understand the concern. I think just as much as anyone else, I think an alternative resource to fossil fuels, an alternative method to transportation as it is needed. I think more of a community-based public transit, you know, there's a lot of public transit that operates well outside of America that is promising, that is, whether it's electric based or it's natural gas based, whatever it is, solar, all these different other methods of sustainable energy, of renewable resources, renewable energy. There's a lot of different alternatives to the problem that we're facing. And unfortunately, the problem is not solved by just saying that every vehicle being manufactured has to become electric.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me.
I have no problem with electric cars. I have really no issue with new designs, or this car goes from 0 to 60 in 1.5 days back in time. Like, I don't, that's not really a concern that I have. You would think that that would be where a lot of main concern, or a lot of, or you would think that's where a lot of my opinions derive from, is the diminishing of gasoline cars and the diminishing of the ability to be an enthusiast of gasoline cars, from building to purchasing to modifying to tuning, all these different things that really create a plethora of money and industry and livelihoods for a lot of people that are behind gasoline powered cars. But all that to say is not the problem that electric has. I'm thinking about you guys. I'm thinking about everybody who is buying Model 3s, who's making Model Ys the top selling car in the freaking world, who spends $90,000 on a Porsche Taycan for some reason, when I'd spend $150,000. If I'm in that price range, I'm spending $150,000 on a Porsche, on a gasoline powered Porsche. Like, yes, you know, it feels pretty much the same. It feels incredible. I recently had the opportunity at the LA Auto Show to take a ride along. They were offering them, so I went on a ride along with the Taycan. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm like, the Taycan outperforms, not in speed, obviously, you know, definitely not in price, of Tesla or other vehicles that are spouting the same numbers and the same 0 to 60.
We interrupt this program to bring you...
All that to say, I don't have any problem with all these different alternatives to gasoline, these different electric vehicles that are coming out. Maybe I don't like some, but hey, there's a lot of gas cars that I don't like. I like a lot of gas cars. There's a lot of gas cars I don't like. And a lot of them that I think that don't need to be produced, don't need to be made. Just like those electric cars that I don't think that need to be produced to be made. I'm looking at you, Honda Prelude, new Honda Prelude, which just looks like a Toyota Prius. It's the same. And the same as the Camry. I don't even have time to go into that today. Anyways, anywho's the main issue behind electric vehicles is the fact that they're electric. That sounds super stupid. I know, I understand. Listen to me. Let's hear me out, all right?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm going to present one scenario. And if after that scenario you're like, this guy's he's gay, he sucks, like whatever, I don't know, that's not a slur, it's not a bad thing. I just, like, in the old sense of the word, I guess, I don't know. This guy's a moron, there you go, that's a better word. He's an idiot, like. But I'll present you one situation. And this situation I've seen over a few different people who have electric vehicles. I've seen it already start to happen. I've seen it already start to be a rumbling, subtle little, the rumble. Aaron Yeager. A small little prick in the thorn in the side of electric owners. I've seen it start to rise up. And Tesla, Lucid, Rivian, Toyota even, now Honda with the Prologue, piece of crap. All these other electric cars, Volvo going all electric. These people are gonna have to deal with this glaring concern. Here's the scenario. You drive your car every day. You drive it to work. Me personally, I'm flying out. I'm going to a 6-day vacation. Let's use me. I'm gonna fly out for a 6-day vacation. Let's say I drove a Model 3. Let's say I drove a Model 3 car. So that gets about, I'd say on the long range, I think it's about 370, maybe 340 miles estimated range, right? It's brand spanking new. Let's say I just bought it right before I decided to fly out. So I just bought it, drove it around town a little bit, drove it to work and back. I'm down to maybe, I'd say like maybe 30%. Maybe a little less, because I've just been booking it, right? I'm about to leave town. I'm in a rush. I gotta pick up this stuff. I gotta get shampoo. I gotta do all these different things, right? Like any normal person would. You gotta make sure that everything's a-okay for you leaving town. You gotta make sure you have everything: pants, shirts, condoms, everything. You need to take care of everything before you leave, right? So I get back to home. It's the day before my flight. I park my new Model 3 with 22% on it, let's say. 22% on a Model 3. It's maybe anywhere, if it's new, it's anywhere from, I'd say,
a few moments later.
It's anywhere from 80 miles left on charge to 100 miles left on charge, give or take. It could be less, and it could be just an inch more. But I'm just being conservative here. I'm just saying, like, let's say at most, right? Like best case scenario. I didn't use the AC. I didn't do anything. I had the windows down. I drove 3 miles an hour as to not engage the accelerator. I just coasted everywhere. All right. And I have 100 miles left. I leave for 6 days. Let's say my flight gets delayed because of a snowstorm, because I'm going to the East Coast. Let's say my flight gets delayed. Now I'm gone 10 days. I come back 10 days later. My brand new Model 3, there's a very good chance, left alone, untouched, depending on what settings I have set, and this is on any electric vehicle, that it has drained itself or been asleep for 10 days, and the battery is drained, maybe not to zero, but it's drained to the point where the car will not wake until I plug it in.
Why?
So now I'm back in town. My car's asleep. It will not wake up because it's lost a significant amount of charge sitting, not doing anything, just sitting in sleep mode the whole entire time I was gone. Now, to get it up and running, I got to plug it into my home charger. I got to get it plugged up, and generally with most electric vehicles, if it hits close to or hits zero and it gets started up again, it's like your iPhone, right? Your iPhone, if you turned it off and you plug it in and it has any amount of charge, it'll automatically wake up. But if your phone goes completely to zero, and it has to turn itself off just for you to stop using it, it's going to take significantly longer for the phone to open back up, right? Everyone's experienced this. Everyone has it. We can all agree that's the same thing, right? We can all agree that that's what happens with phones. What's different from your electric car? It's the same lithium-ion battery. It's the same battery technology. It's just way bigger.
Oh my God!
It's the same battery, just bigger. So that is the problem. is the battery. It's its own technology, the degradation of the battery. Not even including in this example is most people having settings on, operating the vehicle at its max capacity. I don't know if you've ever seen electric car drivers around, but they're like the new Prius, new Nissan Altima drivers. They are on the accelerator 100% of the time at all times. At all times, they are on the accelerator. And with most electric vehicles, it's not like fuel to where the fuel is going to combust at a certain rate. It's the engine that has to run better, richer, leaner, whatever the case may be. With electric, it's like your phone. If you have more apps open, it's going to use more battery. If you have more things open, more settings on, if you have Bluetooth left on at all times, which your car basically does. Your car has Bluetooth on all the time, Wi-Fi on all the time. Climate control, everybody has auto climate control on, or they turn auto on every single time they get into a vehicle. It doesn't matter the weather. So all these things, and you're telling me that your battery's not going to drain?
Maybe not.
Like sooner than you would like? And let's scratch that, right? Because you might be saying, hey, well, why didn't you, Mookie here, why didn't you plug in your Model 3 before you left? Hey, that's a great point. But you know what's ill-advised against in practice for any electric manufacturer, anybody who knows anything about electric vehicles, that they'll tell you? Just like your phone, do not just leave it plugged in charged if you're not using it or if it's already fully charged. Do not do that. Do not leave it plugged in. Do not leave it charged. Because what is it going to do? It's going to expand the battery through heat, and you're going to lose through entropy, through heat. You're going to lose ability to retain energy, to retain technology, electricity in that car. I don't know how it works. Don't ask me. It's like, oh, well, this is how battery I don't care. Comment in the comment section. I'm not going to read it. I'm literally just going to respond that you're right in the comment section, and I'm not going to read your comment. But I'm gonna respond that you're correct just so you feel validated. I don't know. I don't get it. All I know is what I've experienced and what I've seen. What I've experienced and what I've seen is that when you put gas in a car, it could take maybe a decade before that gas doesn't turn on that car. If there's gas in that car and there's nothing else wrong with that car, and the battery that's in that car, it's this little battery, costs you $100 at AutoZone. This battery in this electric car, in a Model 3, in an Ioniq 5, in a Porsche Taycan, can range anywhere between $12,000 to $40,000 for a battery. You're telling me that $5 in gas and a $100 battery is a worse compromise than leaving your car for just 2 weeks and now you have to buy a $40,000 battery? You can't tell me that makes sense. Make it make sense. This is my problem. This is my problem when people spout sustainability, affordability, renewable BS. None of it's true. It's all to sell. And if you don't know that by this point, then you're an idiot and you're a moron. Like that you don't know that it's only to sell to you. Elon just wants to sell to you. And I don't have a problem with that. I love the Model S. I want a Model S Plaid. Not because it's the vision of the future. Empower alternative transportation. I don't give a flying mongoose about that.
You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why?
I just think it's sleek. I like the center of display. I love the white interior, and I love the Plaid's time. The 0 to 1 and travel back in time, lap time, whatever. Like, that's what I like it for. And if there was another vehicle that ran just as fast with just as little, daily maintenance behind it or what have you, or I thought looked just as good, comparably the same, and it was a gas engine, I'd love that car too, which I do. I love, not a direct comparison, but I love the Cadillac CT5 Blackwing. It has a turbocharged V8. Supercharged V8. That thing has a supercharged V8. That thing rides that thing goes ballistic. And it has a gas engine, and I like them both. I like that one electric, but I like it because of the ability that it has. I like it because of the vehicle that it is, what it's comprised of, how it runs, how it operates, how it makes me feel, the driving experience. That's what I love behind the cars that I appreciate, the cars that I love, which is I feel the only real place for this day and age of transportation and vehicles. If it's not for the love or for the experience or for the ride or for the whatever, you know, whatever these positive experiences that most of us enthusiasts like attribute our love of cars to, then at that point, take the bus, like, bro, like, take the train, like,
Oh my God.
take the metro, something, because this ain't it. Because your battery gonna go completely bye-bye on you. There's nothing you can do about it. And like, at least with a gas car, the car that I'm sitting in right now, the car that I live in, my Acura 2012 TSX wagon, I could leave $10 in the tank, and I will be leaving this car for the duration of my trip. I'm gonna be gone 6 days. And when I get back, it will start up with the same amount of gas range that I left it in. Because if I was in a Model 3 or whatever, I keep singling out Tesla. Let's say I was in a RT1 Rivian, and it has 440 miles estimated range. Doesn't matter how much range it is. If I leave it with just enough to degrade for when I get back that it doesn't turn on, guess what? I'm not making it to work. Now I got to spend more money to make it to work, to Uber to work just to make it there. Money. I don't got money like that. I don't. Maybe y'all do. Maybe you guys do, because you're saving so much money on gas with your electric car. I do not have dinero like that. I don't have dinero for the $40,000 battery pack that you're going to have to buy. I don't have the money and time to, when I turn on my car, that it doesn't turn on, even though everything has been done so that it will. But because of a battery's degradation, that I have to spend more than $100 at the AutoZone to get a battery replacement for any gasoline car, and that the gas in that gasoline car stays gas the whole time. The gas doesn't get lost to heat loss, doesn't get lost to energy degradation, doesn't get lost to battery degradation. And that's another thing. My final point for this video. If you think I'm just a big crackhead for everything I've been saying, the last point that I'll leave you with is that, let's say it's sustainable. Let's say that no battery, like that it's, hey, the degradation, it's fine, you just put a new battery in it. If everyone in America, all 500 vanilli of us, all 500 million Americans, you're telling me that we all think it's sustainable for 500 million electric cars to just need a new battery, the size of a freaking Mini Cooper?
Maybe. Maybe not.
To be produced, manufactured, and then installed into an electric vehicle, every 2 to 3 years? These little batteries for gas cars, we can wrap our heads around, right? It's this little, smaller, more rapidly producible thing. It's partially recycled. That could probably be better technology, right? I agree with that. Like the batteries for gasoline cars, probably it should be rechargeable. Like that should be a device, a lithium-ion battery or some kind of battery that should be rechargeable. But that's besides the point. For another video. But you're telling me it's sustainable to not only build and manufacture and replace those batteries every 2 to 3 years or so, which is the average degradation of these electric cars. You don't get to have it at the 340 or now Lucid with their freaking stupid Gravity car saying that they're gonna have almost 500 miles of range. Guess what? In 2 to 3 years, you'll have 3. You'll have the Tesla range. You're right back down there. Guess what? Congratulations, it's a boy. And you're telling me that it's okay to not only replace those batteries, but now you got to get rid of the old battery. Where's the old battery going? Landfill? Tech recycling? How much of the lithium-ion battery is recyclable? I don't know. Somebody answer in the comment and I'll tell you how right you are, because you probably are. Anyways, that's it. See ya.